Hello YouTube and welcome back to week number 2 of the PIDA Kanto weekly update show. Now, the support on the last video was absolutely amazing. I think it's on 66 or something views already. It's got 19 likes, most liked video ever on the channel. So thank you guys so much for the support on that video. So hopefully you enjoyed this one just as well. All positive feedback, so hasn't been any changes to the schedule. So everything will be the same as last week. So yeah, so we have 8 more games today to go through from week number 2 of Division Kanto. There's been some changes to the rules of Division Kanto, but we'll explain that at the end of the video because it will spoil the table. But that's fine. So the first game we have for you guys is the Hungry Big Boys, coached by Bidoof, versus the Calgary V Creates, coached by Hacker. Now, the Hungry Bidoofs are rocking Thunderous, Zapdos, Zeraora, Garantula, Cloyster and Rotom, as the Calgary V Creates are rocking Yamega, Garchomp, Rhydon, Nihilego, Tangrowth and the Alola Marowak. Now, judging by the teams, obviously the Hungry Big Boys are a mono electric team. He brought mono electric last week. This week he switched up a bit and brought Cloyster as well. So to deal with the ground type threats the rest of the team has on the squad, obviously. So that's a good bring by the Bidoof there. Obviously Hacker's brought his Garchomp, his Rhydon and his Lightning Rod, presumably Lightning Rod Marowak, to deal with the electric type threats on his squad. And Tangrowth resists electric, Yamega is neutral and Nihilego is neutral. So he's brought nothing on his team, he's weak to electric, so smart move there by Mr. Hacker. So let's jump into the first game and see what is going to go down. So Turn 1 lead, fundamentally Garchomp, obviously it's going to be the obvious lead. He switches straight out, okay. Power Gem does 48% to the Rotom. So this Rotom's rocking Confuse Ray, which is very confusing to me. But confusing Will-O-Wisp, so it was a Haxy Stally Rotom, to say the least, to get Confuse Burns. Breaks through the confusion, gets a Power Gem, and gets a special defensive boost on into Nihilego. So obviously a bulkier Nihilego to get the special defense boost, but that's always fine because Cloyster's here. Thunderbolt, Sash Thunderbolt goes for the Shell Smash here to get +2/+2/+2/+2 and potentially put in the work against Nihilego because it should outspeed. Goes out into the Garchomp as he goes for the Icicle Spear. Garchomp is gone. Big threat to his team gone. Goes out into his Rhydon. Goes for the Surf. Rhydon is gone. So in 2 turns, both the ground types on the opposing team, the mono electric team, have disappeared. So things are looking good for Hungry Bidoof for this stage. So out comes the Tangrowth. Now, I was confused here why he didn't go for Icicle Spear. Because Surf resisted. He did get a crit on the Surf, but I did 60%. So wouldn't Icicle Spear have killed this Tangrowth? I'm not sure if it did, but if I was him, I would have clicked Icicle Crash. Because even if he switches out into Marowak, you outspeed it and you can surf it next turn. So I was a bit confused on that play, but that's just me. That's what I would have done anyway. So then the Tangrowth goes to go for Giga Drain, killing out the Cloyster. With that set, now out comes the Garantula. Goes out into the Marowak, predicting a Volt Switch most probably. But he goes for the Sticky Webs to get late game webs, always useful. Goes to his Zapdos as he goes for the Swords Dance on the Marowak. As Bidoof goes for the Tailwind, so to make sure he will outspeed his entire team, because obviously Hacker's team will be slowed by webs and will be sped up by Tailwind, so literally nothing is going to outspeed Bidoof's team at this stage. And +2 Shadow Bone just blows back this Zapdos, absolutely blows it back, which is ridiculous. Out comes the Zeraora, goes out into the Tangrowth here as he goes for the knockoff, knocking off this Tangrowth's Rocky Helmet. And then back up comes the Galv as he goes for Leech Seeds. So Stally Tangrowth is always... So yeah, Stally Tangrowth obviously would protect Leech Seed to slowly whittle down this Galvantula here. And then the Galvantula, obviously predicting the Bug Buzz, goes out into the Nihilego, which I think resists. Yeah, it does resist. Does nothing, because this is a specially defensive bulky Nihilego, obviously, because of the special defense move from earlier. Goes back out into his Marowak, predicting the electric type move. Gets that lightning rod boost. Sucks up from that leech seed. Goes for bug buzz. Resisted hit. Goes for the swords dance. And yeah, keeps going for bug buzz. He's probably just wanting this thing to die to get free switching into like the Zorora or the Thunderous, which he does. He goes for the Dark Pulse on the Thunderous. Oko's the Marowak. Out comes in the Heligo. And I think he goes for the switch out into Zorora here. He goes for the Power Gem, which does just under half of what the Zorora had left. So he switches back out into this. Goes for the Fire Punch on the Zorora, which I think is a very interesting. Yeah, good bring actually. So Tangrowth Stally games are coupling again. As the Thunderous goes for Nasty Plot, this is pretty much. Thunderous can probably sweep from this range. With being at Nasty Plot +2 boosted. He goes for Dark Pulse. Oko's the Tangrowth. Out comes in the Heligo. Goes for the Z Bloom Doom on the Nihilego. Lives the hit because it's obviously especially bulky boy. And the Nihilego drops. Not in the Nihilego. The Thunderous drops in the Nihilego. So the Nihilego, especially defensive Nihilego, is putting in the work here. Living a +2 stab. No, +2 Z move from a Thunderous. It's going to take it to a lot of damage. Out comes a Zorora, who could just sticky webs will outspeed the rest of his team and put in the most. So Zorora gets the Plasma Fist kills and then goes for Plasma Fist again, which Oko's the Yanmega. And that is the end of game number 1. So yeah, that is the end of game week 1. So the Bidoost did lose last week, got a win this week, and so yeah, the Mono Electric team are like mid-table at this stage, if I do remember. And unfortunately, Hacker is still failed to pick up one of these so far in PIDA, but there's always next week. I did not write down next week's features because I'm an idiot. So yeah, I forgot to do that. And there's already games played. I don't want to do any spoilers to look in the schedule on the thing. But it's fine. That's fine. But yeah, so that's game number 1 over and done with. Obviously, the Cloister put in the most finest work, getting rid of both the ground types on the opposing side for the Hungry Big Boys. So at the end, late game sweep, as you do. The Thunderous, Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, Z, Grass Knot, put in the finest work. Didn't do enough to Nihilego, however, because I'm pretty sure that was had to be max HP, max special defense, Nihilego to live at that hit, and moves pretty much all the special hits from the Bidoost team. And obviously the Swords Dance, Lightning Rod alone Marowak was a good bring because all the electric types Lightning Rod does the most finest. And the Tangrowth Stally Boy protects Leech Seed, as you do. It's what Tangrowth does. So yeah, that's a wrap for game number 1 of between the Hungry Big Boys and the Calgary V Creates. Game number 2, we move on to New Haven Nut, coached by Quinnipiac Quillfish, versus the Green and Guzzlord, coached by Dr. Piplup. And New Haven Nuts are rocking Dojo, Mega Latias, Latias, Moltres, and Gyarados. So triple Lati for the New Haven Nuts this week. And the Green and Guzzlords are rocking regular Kyurem, Mega Gyarados, Magearna, Galissapod, Gardevoir, and Terrakion. So it's a battle of the Gyaradoses, the battle of the triple Latis, and the battle of the mono levitate / flying team. So both mono teams in Kanto are up first this week. So yeah, the Latis were. He bought Terrakion because he's obviously mono flying team / levitate. So I understand that bring, but he has 3 Latis on his team, and Terrakion is just weak to all of them. So Terrakion can be good, but 4 out of his team are weak. Can blow this Terrakion back any day of the week. The Magearna is a good bring because if Moltres is out the way, can put in the work against his team. Kyurem Black as well, minus the Flames, the Moltres can put in the work. So yeah, so that's the team matchups for the game number 2. So let's jump into the first game and see how. So this is, I love a turn 1 Oko. There was so many last week. We already got our first this week already in game number 2. The Gardevoir comes out of the bag, just thunderbolts the Dojo to death. So most likely this Gardevoir is choice scarfed to outspeed the Dojo with Thunderbolt. So that was a good bring by Piplup there. Goes out into his Latias, choice scarfs, and the Latias goes for Reflect type to copy the Magearna. So it becomes a Fairy type, so it can't be OHKO'd by likes of the Magearna or the Magearna or the Gardevoir. So yeah, both of those good play by Queepak Quillfish there. Good tech, if I should say, loose. But he switched out into his Gardevoir, so this Latias is now a Psychic Fairy type. But the Gardevoir goes for tricking the Choice Scarf, revealing that Choice Scarf from turn 1 onto the Latias, and Gardevoir now has leftovers, and now the Latias is Calm Minding, so he switches out into his Moltres because he's obviously Choice Scarfed. Then he switches back out into his Kyurem. Good play there. Misses the Toxic on the Kyurem Black as it goes for Substitute, which was a very, very tragic, very crucial miss there. As the Kyurem Black, normal Kyurem goes for Double Team. But it does land the Toxic after a +1 evasion boost. Pokemon, eh? Should have landed the one before, lands the one on the increased invasion chance on the Kyurem. So Kyurem's behind a sub with evasion boosts. If there wasn't Toxic, there would have been a massive problem. But that Dragon Pulse still did a lot to this Latias. It did a freaking ton to this Latias. Latias goes for the Psyshock to kill the sub, sacks off the Latias to kill the sub for the Kyurem. As the Toxic damage stacks up on the Kyurem, goes out into his Latios. As he switches out, knowing it can outspeed, goes for the Shadow Ball, and on the Magearna, as the Magearna goes for Shift Gear, to outspeed this, it doesn't staying against the Moltres because obviously it's a Moltres, can blow this Magearna back every day of the week. Goes out into his Toxic Kyurem to sack it off, but it lives the hit, just about the Toxic. Moltres outspeeds and OHKO's the Kyurem. Out comes the Terrakion, who can put in the work against this Moltres. Goes for the Protect Scout to see what this Terrakion wants to go for. Reveals the Stone Edge. So, thinking he's choiced, he goes down to the Latios. There's too many. That has to be Choice Banded or Choice Scarfed because that did a freaking large amount of damage to that freaking Latios. Goes down to the Glissapod as it goes for Latios goes for Surf on the Terrakion. Switches out into his... I thought this was a very interesting play because Latios was on the field and it probably Piplup predicted, no, Quillfish predicted that the Glissapod would have went for first impression. So he went into his Moltres, but Piplup second guessed him, going for liquidation, predicting the Moltres to switch in. You see? Plays. Absolute plays. Gets a defense drop. Doesn't matter because his Glissapod has Aqua Jet. Outspeeds, kills the Thanksgiving, and Glissapod puts in the final work. Out comes the Gyarados. Now, Piplup's Gyarados is Intimidate. Quinnipiac's Gyarados is not Intimidate, but he just goes for the Dragon Dance. So, Mega Mold Breaker goes for Dragon Dance. Double Dragon Dance by Quillfish Gyarados, and the Mega Gyarados goes for Dragon Dance on his side of the field. So, double. But the benefit from this Gyarados is it outspeeds, has a Z move, Z bounce, OHKO's this Jumbo Shrimp for the life of it. So it reveals that this Gyarados is a Moxie set. So this Gyarados can put in the finest of work because obviously Gyarados is strong, +2/+2, putting in the finest of work against the rest of the team. Goes out into Crash, gets the first impression, does 29%, goes for the Waterfall. Glissapod switches out by emergency exit, out into Bully, sacks off the Terrakion, gets the Moxie boost, goes back out into Glissapod, goes for first impression again, uses bounce, switches out into Gardevoir, traces the Moxie, gets the bounce kill, goes back out into Glissapod, goes for first impression again, lives the waterfall of Glissapod, goes for Aqua Jet, kills the Gyarados. So, good play by Piplup there to whittle down this Gyarados by sacking off his Terrakion and his Gardevoir. And most of his Glisopod to deal with this Gyarados. So Gyarados did put in the finals of work, and with Magearna and Glisopod left versus the two Latis, still could be anyone's game. So out comes the Mega Latias. Mega Evolves, goes for Calm Minds, as the Glisopod goes for Leech Life. Knew he'd live to hit, goes for Stored Power, kills the Glisopod, out comes Magearna. So Calm Mind, Stored Power, Mega Latias, interesting set to say the least. Did put in the work, interesting set to say the least. Goes for Hidden Power, does just under half, as Magearna goes for it. Z Breakneck Blitz. Of all the Z moves to bring, I was not expecting Breakneck Blitz on a Magearna. It's probably Hyper Beam? It has to be Hyper Beam, surely. Otherwise, what would you bring? So, obviously he didn't bring HP. Why did he not bring Twinkle Tackle? I don't know. Honestly, don't know. If he's watching, he'll probably let me down in the comments why he brought Breakneck Blitz. But, hey ho. Breakneck Blitz gets the kill on Mega Latios, gets the Soul Heart boost. Out comes the Latios. Goes for the Shadow Ball, which OHKOs the Queen. And very close game, to say the least. Because, yeah. That Z move did put in the work. If he went for Shift Gear, because did he not live the... We go here, go for the Hidden Power, live the hit. If he went for Shift Gear on this turn, he would have outsped. Went for the Z move then, would have killed the Mega Latias. Then he would have outsped the other Lati, most probably, and killed that. So if he did Shift Gear on this turn when this Mega Latias went for Calm Mind, may have swayed the game into the other direction, but who knows, who knows, who knows. So yeah, that was a good game by the New Haven Nut and the Green and Guzzlords. Obviously, sets which stood out for me were obviously Calm Mind, Stored Power, Mega Latias. Putting the finals of what got interesting set, got a kill, so it was worth it. The Reflect type on the Latias, the regular one, was an interesting set to say the least. Could have worked out, but didn't in the end. The Toxic Miss on the Moltres may have cost Quillfish some Mons, I think, because the QM did kill a Mon. I can't remember which one it was now. But yeah, so that could have made the game a 2-0 instead of a 1-0. And the Gyarados, obviously the Dragon Dance, Z-Bounce, Moxie did put in the finals of work for New Haven Nut. And obviously the Kyurem sub-double team put in the work. Dragon Dance Mega Gyarados couldn't match its counterpart pre non-Mega evolved Gyarados, so his normal Gyarados better than Mega Gyarados. It is so far in this league. And obviously Shift Gear, Z Breakneck Blitz, Magearna. If he, as I said before, if he Shift Geared on that Hidden Power turn, he may have won the game. And the Glisopod was like MVP for me because came in, whittled down the Gyarados, sacking off other Mons before it could kill the Gyarados, which is good. And obviously the turn 1 Gardevoir kill, another turn 1 kill me, and the Trick Choice Scarf to shut down his Latias. So that was a good bring for Quillfish. So Quillfish, I think, is now on 1-1, and Piplup is on 0-2. I want to say. I don't look at the doc because it will give spoilers because I record these at the end. No, it doesn't matter. Breaking the 4-4 doesn't matter. So game number 3, we have the Victoria Victinis, coached by Devil, versus the Dallas Cabalians, coached by Tormund. As you can see, Devil has brought Venusaur, Mega Charizard Y, Exploud, Pelipper, Miss Magius, and Kingdra. So he has fire team, sun/rain team for the Devil, for the Victoria Victinis, and the Dallas Cabalians have brought Azumarill, Blacephalon, Uxie, Staraptor, Celebi, and Garchomp. Is that Mega Garchomp? No, it's normal Garchomp. Mega Garchomp was in game number 1. We did Mega Evolve, so we didn't know. So, yeah. So, obviously, Sun Team can put in the work against the likes of the Celebi. Shuts down the Azumarill's Waterfalls. Boosts the Blacephalon, however, but it has rain for that, so they work together really well. Exploud, don't know how well Exploud's going to do in this matchup. Miss Magius, obviously good for the Blacephalon and the Uxie and the Celebi, to be fair. So, expecting that to put in the work in this game. And if you Scarf Garchomp, that's always a threat. Scarf Garchomp is always a threat. So, if that's the Mon he decides to bring into the game, if he decides to bring a Choice Scarf, it could put in the actual finals to work. So, let's begin this game. Game number 3. Boombox out with Staraptor. And 2 games in a row. Turn 1 kill by the Staraptor on the Boombox with a freaking Brave Bird. So, turn 1 kill. Love it. Love a turn 1 kill, me. Love a turn 1 kill. So, yeah, Exploud. Don't know what his Devil's game plan was with Exploud, but it didn't get to show it because it died turn 1, as you do. That must have been a reckless. So, out comes into the Azumarill as Hermione goes for the Thunderbolt. Aquajet doesn't do enough to the Hermione, so it must be a bulkier set because I know having Miss Magius in UCC for me, it's not the greatest defensive wise, but especially defensive wise, it's amazing. But it must be max HP to live that Aquajet. It must have been. So that was I don't know why, knowing he had Thunderbolt, why he stayed in. Maybe he must have thought Aquajet killed, otherwise he would not have stayed in. He would have went out to probably Garchomp, most probably. So down goes to Azumarill as he goes into his Blacephalon. As he goes for the Shadow Ball, obviously a Choice Scarf set to outspeed Miss Magius. So Blacephalon goes down, +1 speed boost, special attack boost, sorry. Out comes the Pelipper. He stays in and goes for the Shadow Ball, because knowing it can OHKO the Pelipper. Now, this was a smart play by Devil here, because he knew the Blacephalon was Choice Scarfed. So he sent out Nigel to sack off, so the Kingdra could come in with Swift Swim, outspeed the Blacephalon, and kill it with Surf, which he does. There we go. Rain boosted Surf outspeeds with Choice Scarf, and Kingdra goes, and the potential Blacephalon sweep goes down. So good play by Devil there. Absolutely fantastic play. Out comes the Celebi as the Poseidon goes for Ice Beam, gets to 4. Insta 4. I went yes, yes. Hacks are here, hacks are here, hacks are here, and it insta-forward, so freeze did not matter in the long run whatsoever. Engiball does just under half, so unless he gets a high roll, which because of the Life Orb definitely kills the Kingdra, so Celebi does put in the work. Out comes the Mega Charizard Y to go for the Tailwind as the Celebi goes for Leech Seed. Now, I've brought Tailwind on my Charizard. I don't know if that video's up yet. Spoilers, but anyway, so Mega Charizard Y with Tailwind will definitely outspeed his entire team if he's brought Scarfed Staraptor or Scarfed Mega Chomp. So good tech by Devil there, because now this Charizard Y outspeeds his entire team. The sun is up. You can just click Flamethrower, and everything's going to die. It also is rocking HP Ice for the Garchomp, knowing it resists fire. I don't know if it resists flying. It doesn't resist flying, does it? No. But Air Slash wouldn't have killed it, but HP Ice will, so good tech there by Devil again. Out comes the Uxie. Flamethrower does the most, but it's an Uxie, so there's more defensive ones. The Thunderbolt doesn't do enough to kill the Charizard. Goes for the Tailwind again. Goes for the U-turn out into the Staraptor as the sun disappears. And the Charizard goes for Ancient Power on the Staraptor, and he gets the boost from it. So, yeah, this is game over, because this Charizard's set up for days, and Uxie goes down for the Charizard. So, yeah. So, the Victoria Vigninis pick up their first win. I think they lost last week. I'm pretty sure they lost last week. I think they're 1-1 right now. And the Dallas Cabalions, I think, are in the same boat, from what I remember. I'll probably get this all wrong when it comes to Tony Tab at the end of the video, but MVP has to be Charizard Y. Getting 4 kills with that Tailwind setup was amazing. Flamethrower put in the work. HP Ice for the Garchomp was great. Agent Power for the Staraptor was fantastic. Got the boost as well, which is like, I think is it 20% chance? Yeah, it's 20% chance. So very lucky for. Didn't matter in the end. Did not matter. But if it happened early game and Tailwind wasn't up, Could have been crucial. Could have absolutely been crucial. Also, good play was the Pelipper Kingdra sack to deal with the Blacephalon. Fantastic play there. And the Beast Boost Blacephalon did put in the work, but was potentially a threat. But the Kingdra Pelipper, the Pelipper sack Kingdra was absolutely amazing to deal with that. The threat of Guy Fawkes and Blacephalon. I should know all about Guy Fawkes and Blacephalon. So that is game number 3 over and done with. Next up, we have the Wellington Ho-Oh, coached by Pig, versus New England Blizzard, coached by Vixen. And the New England Blizzard are rocking Victini, Crocodile, Milotic, Noivern, Chansey, and Diancie. And the Wellington Ho-Oh are rocking Donphan, Rotom Wash, Whimsicott, Mega Ampharos, Necrozma, and Celesteela. Now, very bulky team for the Wellington Ho-Oh right now, because all these mons are bulky. Every single one is bulky, besides Whimsicott. But Whimsicott is fast, prankster, not considered a physical threat. So, very bulky team for the Ho-Oh here, and then kind of bulky on the Vixen side with the Chansey and the Milotic and the Diancie. Is it Mega Diancie? It is Mega Diancie, so not as bulky as regular Diancie, but still bulky nonetheless. So might be a stally game. So let us jump into game number 4 and see how this one turns out. So out comes the Noivern Rotom Wash. Noivern goes through its Boom Burst, doing over half, 65% is Rotom Wash, as it goes for the Volt Switch out into his Muffled Celesteela, as he goes out into Chansey. Now the Celesteela goes for Flame Charge. I'm thinking, I have never seen a Celesteela go for Flame Charge before, so was very shocked when I saw this. And yeah, it's getting that speed boost on the Chansey was crucial as it goes for counter. So counter Chansey. Okay. Very interesting. Goes for the Heavy Slam. Gets a crit. Now if he countered that turn and wished the turn before, game changer. Absolute game changer. If he wished on the Flame Charge turn and counted on this turn, game changer. Absolute game changer, because that Heavy Slam crit would have killed this Chansey. I mean, without crit, it probably would have lived the next one. But yeah, Chansey goes down, and the Celesteela is now +2 speed, +1 attack. So very, very scary indeed. Gets another crit on the Noivern. I don't know if that crit mattered, because it's +1 stab from a Celesteela. It's not resisted. So yeah. Is it resisted? No, it's not resisted. Okay, cool. Something resist steel. No, electric resist steel. No. Yes. No. Oh, I don't even remember. Doesn't matter. But that crit may have mattered. I don't think it did at +1, but it shouldn't have done. Out comes the Milotic, living a +2 Seed Bomb from a Celesteela. And this Milotic is a bulky boy. As it goes for the Scald, gets the burn, so shuts down this Celesteela's +2 boost, putting it back down to neutral. So, yeah. And it goes for the burn to get the Marvel Scale boost. As it's burnt, predicting the Seed Bomb, goes back out into his Victini. Goes back out, goes into his Victini on the burnt Celesteela. Heavy Slam does not a lot of damage. Flare Blitz. Ockerberry Celesteela shows up, pops up. So, was predicting the Victini to come in and Flare Blitz it. And it lived to hit. Was able to live the hit. If it was at full. Not from 20%. Not from 20%. So that's fine. Out comes Mega Ampharos. As the Victini goes for Z-Celebrate, as it did last week. Did pick up, I think it was 4 kills, 4-0 last week. But this week, it's here. Can it do it? Can it do the 4-0 again? As the Mega Ampharos goes for agility to outspeed the Victini, which it doesn't. Goes for Flare Blitz. Lives the hit every day of the week. Thunderbolt. Lives on 1%. Lives on 1%. Madness. Absolute madness. Because Mega Ampharos has like 165, 170 special attack. So, this Victini with the boost must have been a bulky boy to be able to live that. Because, my goodness, Mega Ampharos can hit like a freaking truck. Zen Headbutt. The Zen Headbutt flinch for the Victini Madness. Absolute madness. That flinch really mattered because the next Thunderbolt would have killed this thing. Out comes the Necrozma for the Zen Headbutt. That does absolutely zero. That V-Create. The Necrozma lives on 3%. Mad. Loses its... As the Necrozma goes for Photon Geyser. Cosmo goes for Photon Geyser on the Victini on 1%. And down goes the Victini Celebrate. So Victini didn't get any kills this week. Did it not? No, it got 2. Wait, what? I got written down here it got 2 kills. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Has someone been cheating me out right now? I need to double check. Because I've got written down here that Victini got two kills and 1 death. But it didn't. But it didn't. It got 1. It got 1 kill, did not? It killed Celesteela, did not? Yeah, it only killed Celesteela. Mad. Whoever did this stats for this game completely got it wrong, because Victini did not get 2 kills, it got 1. It literally got 1 kill. It got 1 kill. Because Crocodile got a kill, which is right. Pursuit Firefang, yes. Pursuit. Down goes it gets the Moxie boost. So Giga Drain from that thing. Firefang. Critical hit, Sash. The crit Sash with a Whimsicott. Stellar play. Absolute stellar. Was not expecting it to be focus sashed, and the crit probably would have killed. So yeah, Whimsicott picks up a kill there. The Sash put in the finest of work against the oof. It's 1-1. I don't know. I'll worry about it. I'll worry about it at the end of the game. See what the issue was. But I shied from the Donphan on the Mega Diancie to predict the to kill off the Mega Diancie, but doesn't. Goes out into the Mega Ampharos as Milotic goes to recover. Goes for the Skull Burn. So Milotic gets a kill. I got a pen. I have a pen. Pen's over here. Hang on. Someone did these stats wrong. I'm annoyed. It's a good job I do these videos, right? Because these freaking tiers are very crucial if you watch the announcement video, tier change and whatnot. But yeah, so Milotic picks up the kill on Mega Ampharos. So down goes the Mega Ampharos. Out comes the Rotom, who goes for the Pain Split to heal up some damage, probably predicting the Milotic to outspeed it and go for recover, but doesn't. So that gets the Skull, does nothing to this Rotom, goes for the Volt Switch, kills the Milotic as it goes back out into his Donphan, as the Mega Diancie goes for the Moonblast. Donphan eats up the hit for days, goes for Earthquake, and kills the Mega Diancie. So it's a solid 2-0 win for the Wentworth Ho-Oh there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, that's correct. All the other stats are correct. That's fine. So yeah, that threw me off, that Victini not getting 2 kills there, but that's fine. Main points to add were the Celesteela did put in the work. Flame Charge, Ockerberry, attack boosting. The crits did matter. I think on the Noivern and on the Tetsu. So they were very crucial. Obviously, the Sash on the Whimsicott was a very good play for on the Crocodile. Living the Firefang crit. If not, it would have died, and Crocodile would have not been on. Crocodile probably would have still been around. Would have been a 3-0 if that wasn't for that. So that's very crucial. Z-Celebrate Victini again, as he did bring last week. Didn't pay off as well as last week, because last week got 4-0. This one it got 1-1. So didn't put in as much work as it did last week. However, Crocodile Pursuit Firefang did out the cross really well, and the Whimsicott. Milotic obviously picked up a kill, got a skull burn, crucial skull burn against the Stellar Stealer, which was fantastic. Shut that thing down. And the obviously counter wish Chansey could have potentially put in the work, but didn't in the end. So, yeah. So from that game, I need to do some editing on the dock. But anyway, we move on to game number 5, where we have the Pura Pidgeots, coached by JJ, versus the Sugarpuff City Swirlix, coached by Skeffinape. Now, the Pura Pidgeots are rocking Greninja, Heatran, Megalatios, Buzzwole, Darmanitan, and Blissey. And the Sugarpuff City Swirlix are rocking Salamence, Ash Greninja, Porygon 2, Entei, Crogonal, Palisand. So earlier we had Gyarados v Mega Gyarados, now we have Greninja v Ash Greninja. So hopefully can be as a good game as that game. So obviously Salamence can put in the work against the team besides the Heatran, unless he's rocking a Hydro Pump set. Greninja v Ash Greninja. Potentially Greninja outplays the Ash Greninja because of Protean. So you can turn into a Bug type or whatever to deal with the Ash Greninja. Two bulky normal types with the Duck and the Blissey. 2 powerful fire types in the Entei and the Darmanitan, and the Heatran for that matter. Palisand is there as well to deal with the likes of the Heatran and the Lati. And the Crogonal is there for be the special wall it needs to be for the likes of the Greninja, probably. And the Latios. So let's jump into game number 5 and see how this game's going to play down. So Sandcastle lead, outcomes of Crogonal, we're just predicting the Dark Pulse. This Dark Pulse is absolutely 0 from a stab Greninja. So that did a lot of damage. Out comes the Blissey. Hidden Power. Probably Hidden Power Bug or Ground. Has to be HP Ground, predicting the Heatran to come in on the Entei. Not Entei, the Darmanitan. Has to be. Had to be. So that did nothing. So out comes the Sandcastle as the Blissey goes for Stealth Rocks. Gets Ice Beam, Blissey Freeze as Sandcastle goes for Trick. Giving the Blissey a choice band. Pretty much shutting it down if it wants to go for Wish or whatever. So yeah, good play by Sugarpuff City Swirlix is there. Shutting down the Blissey with the Trick choice band onto it. And now the Sandcastle had leftovers. Out comes the Entei on the Ice Beam. And the Blissey Stomping Tantrum does nothing. Goes for the Ice Beam again. Gets the freeze on the Entei. So Blissey, Serene Grace freezes are here once again. Out comes the Heatran. He goes for the Lava Plume. Thawing out the Entei. Now I was shocked by this. Why would he go for the Lava Plume? Unless he thought he'd switch out the Entei. But Flash Cannon would probably have been the best play. Because wouldn't have thought this out. And besides the Salamence? No, we've covered from the other game. It's not relisted. So Flash Cannon would have been the smarter play. Unless he didn't have Flash Cannon. Because he thought out the Entei. Predicting the Stomping Tantrum again. Goes out into his Latios, predicting the Stomping Tantrum. Goes out into his Duck. Picks up the Levitate. Mega Latios goes for Dragon Dance. So it's a physical Mega Latios. So just straight out into his Darmanitan. Predicting the Ice Beam. Good play. Flare Blitz. You know Darmanitan is a strong boy when it pretty much OHKOs a Porygon 2. Unless it's a specially defensive Porygon 2, not a bold max HP, max defense Porygon 2. That is mad. Absolute madness. So Porygon 2 drops straight from that Darmanitan. As you do. Out comes the Salamence. Trying to get a revenge kill. Out comes the Blissey. Goes for the Dragon Claw. Another Dragon Claw kills. Because Blissey is pretty much surplus to requirements right now with Choice Band. So sacks off that Blissey for the Dragon against the Salamence. Gets the Moxie boost. As you do. Out comes the Greninja. U-turning out. Out into his Heatran. Going for the Dragon Claw again. Does nothing because obviously it's resisted. Goes out into his Entei. And the Heatran goes for the Lava Plume. Not killing off this Entei. So, yeah. not looking good. It's about even game so far right now. So Slurp comes out as the Heat Train goes for Protect. Scouting out the Hydro, what this Ash Greninja wants to go for. Knows he's got Hydro Pump. Knows he's got Dark Pulse, so it's Life Orbed. Goes for the Lava Plume, predicting him to go out into his Crocodile? Must have think, oh, he's going for Hydro Pump. Let me switch out into my Lati or my Greninja myself. So I'll go into I'll stay in and go for Dark Pulse. I mean, I'll stay in and go for Lava Plume. I don't know. Goes for the Water Shuriken to finish off the Heatran. Makes the Greninja Battle Bond up. And goes into his Ash Greninja as he goes out into his own Greninja. Predicting the U-turn. Goes for that U-turn. Must knowing that this thing is Choice Scarfed because Ash Greninja was Life Orbed, so this Greninja outspeeds it. Out comes the Darmanitan on the Sandcastle. Goes for the Flare Blitz, which OHKOs the Sandcastle because nothing on his team was living a Fire Blast hit, and Sandcastle is probably the most surplus to requirements on Skurfnape's team. Out comes the Salamence. This Boswell, bulky boy. This Boswell's a bulky boy, living a Dragon Claw from a Salamence. Goes for another Dragon Claw, does nothing. Boswell goes for sub, and you know this thing's a bulky boy because this Dragon Claw didn't even break the sub. Did not even break the substitute. So this Boswell is a bulky Boswell. He goes for the Hammer Arm. Most probably predicting the switch out into Crocodile or the Greninja, which he doesn't do. Goes for Dragon Claw again to break the substitute. Boswell goes for Roost. So this is a stally Boswell. Goes out into his Crocodile. As he goes for sub again. Goes for the Ice Beam. Breaks the sub. Goes to Leaf Life. OHKOs the Crocodile. And Boswell could potentially sweep now. Possibly. But it doesn't because Hydro Pump just blows. Life Orb, Hydro Pump, stab from an Ash Greninja. Not a lot of things live in that, so Boswell goes down to the Ash Greninja. Out comes his own Greninja. So Ash Greninja goes for Water Shuriken, which I find an interesting play because gets some chip on it before the U-turn OHKOs the Ash Greninja from the original Greninja. As he goes out into his Latios versus the Salamence. Lives the Dragon Claw because he's a bulky boy. Goes for Dragon Claw itself and kills the Airheart. And the Pure Pidgeots are still unbeaten and are rocking a 3-0 victory. So, obviously, the Blissey trick put in the work. I mean, for Sugar Puff Sweet Elixirs, shutting down that Blissey was very crucial because it could have potentially had Wish support to help his likes of his Latias, the Greninja, and whatnot, to stay alive for longer. Didn't matter in the end because he still came away with the W. Obviously, the Boswell as well, bulky sub Boswell, tanked hits from the Salamence for days. Probably would have tanked most physical hits, to be honest, because I think it has stupid high defense as well as attack, so that's always good. Obviously, Salamence Moxie put in the work. Ash Greninja did put in the work for the Skurfnapes. Skurfnapes, Sugar Puff Sweet Elixirs. And yeah, so good game out of the way. I think Sugar Puff Sweet Elixirs are 1-1 and Pure Prejudice are 2-0. So next week, it could all change. Can this win streak for the Pure Pidgeots continue? Stay tuned next week to find out. Now we move on to game number 6, where we are rocking the Sinnoh Starlets, coached by Sean and the Blind Messiah, versus Sydney Shamans, coached by Cyclone, because good name. My bad. Anyway, so Sin Stars are rocking Araquanid, Nidoking, Hooper Unbound, Gardevoir. Is it Mega Gardevoir? It's Mega Gardevoir. Bishop and Guja. And the Sydney Shamans are rocking Jolteon, Vaporeon, Tabulele, Ferrothorn, Miltank, and the Mandibuzz. So, obviously, the Sydney Shamans are rocking double evolution with Z-Celebrate, because Z-Celebrate is a favourite in PIDA, because we've already seen it once so far this video, and we saw it, I think, twice last week. on the Victini and the Umbreon for the power squad. So he's got the bulkiness in Mandibuzz, Miltank, and Ferrothorn, as well as the special attacking threat of the Tapu Lele. So that can all potentially put in the work. For Sean, he has the bulkiness of the Goodra. He has webs on his Araquanid. He can have Mega Gardevoir, and Hooper can put in the finest of work attacking wise. Nidoking as well has potential for that, and Bishop as well. So we have attack versus defense pretty much this week in this game. So let's jump into the game and see how this one pans out. Out comes the Araquanid. As the Jolteon goes for agility, the Araquanid goes for sticky webs, so that could be the potential late game. As the Jolteon battle passes out into his Vaporeon, predicting the liquidation, I would imagine. So then he switches out into his Gardevoir, as Vaporeon goes for Z-Celebrate, so it's got +2 speed, +1 attack, +1 defense, +1 special attack, +1 special defense. Can put in the finest work on his Vaporeon. As the Gardevoir Mega Evolves, the Vaporeon starts going for double teams. Now, as the Mega Gardevoir goes for substitute. Now, you can already tell what Sydney Shamans' plan is for this game. Is to bulk stack Baton Pass into Tapu Lele. So, does this happen? Goes for double team again. As the Gardevoir goes for the Hyper Voice, lands a Hyper Voice that's 36% solid. Goes for double team again. Misses the Encore, trying to Encore him into double team. But he doesn't, he just Baton Passes out straight into his Tapu Lele, which I called from turn 1. They'd probably be setting up Z-Celebrates and turning into a Tapu Lele. Psychic Terrain is here. Lands the Hyper Voice, which does 43% to this Tapu Lele. As Tapu Lele goes for sub, which I don't know why he went for sub when the Gardevoir was spamming Hyper Voices, because it just go through anyway. So, yeah, I would have just double Moonblasted if I was him. I would have just double Moonblasted, because this Gardevoir may have potentially been down, and Tapu Lele would have been still alive with all these stat boosts. But that's just me. But yeah, so Sean proves his Mega Gardevoir, puts in the work, taking down the threat of the Tapu Lele with the speed, with the boosts. So yeah, so Sydney Shamans' main game plan is now dead. So hopefully, as the Mega Gardevoir goes for substitute, the Ferrothorn goes for Dribble, breaking that sub. Goes for the HP Fire. Ferrothorn is Focus Sashed. Nobody was expecting Sash Ferrothorn, as you can probably tell by the chat that says it right now. Yep. And he didn't even know he had the Focus Sash on it. So, was that a blind bit of luck? Was it pure skill? No idea. But that Ferrothorn put in the work and killed that Mega Gardevoir with the utmost devastation. So, out comes the Goodra as he goes out into his Miltank. As he goes for the Flamethrower with the thick fat Miltank. Now this Goodra goes for Infestation. So this is stall on stall because this Miltank is now trapped in against this Goodra. And I went for Stealth Rocks. And this Miltank is trapped in with toxic damage against the Goodra. But the Miltank returns the favour by going for Toxic on the Goodra. So we now have Toxic Stall on both sides of the screen right now. As the cow keeps going for milk drink, we sit here, watch the stall happen. The infestation, the milk drink, the leftovers, the toxic damage. The infestation, the milk drink, the leftovers, the toxic damage. Then Sean goes out into his Bishop, predicting the milk drink again. Toxic damage is racking up right now. Goes out into his Vaporeon as the Bishop goes for knockoff. Still 27%. Goes for knockoff again. Double team for the Vaporeon. Goes for knockoff for the third time. Evasion boost does not matter because the Vaporeon drops. Out comes the Jolteon. Does Z Black Hole Eclipse from this Bishop. Sash on the Jolteon as well. So this team is mono Sash. Obviously he was Sash so he could sit up on all the Mons to ban pass out into Tapu Lele. And the Sashes are coming through, even with the Tapu Lele tacked out the window. So, predicting the Sucker Punch, the Sydney Shamans go for Baton Pass to switch out into his Mandibuzz. So he goes for the Iron Head as the the Mandibuzz just clicks Whirlwind, breathes out the next Mon. Then the Sinnoh, let's switch out into Bishop, goes for the knockoff. Whirlwind again, knocks off the Ben to the left, Whirlwind again, back out into Hooper, the worst Ben, IMO. Back out into Bishop, goes for knockoff. Switches out into his Ferrothorn to Oko the Bishop for Iron Barb's damage. So good play there by City Shamans to shut down this Bishop. Down goes the Bishop, down goes Ferrothorn. Out comes Purple Rain, which proceeds to sweep his team, if I do so believe. Gives the Ice Beam on the Mandibuzz, goes for the Sludge Wave as the cow goes for Milk Drink. Next Sludge Wave should kill it, which it doesn't. Goes for Body Slam. Doesn't get the power. Sludge Wave, crit. Crit did not matter, obviously, because it's on 6%. Out comes the Scurf. Out comes the Jolteon. Goes for Sludge Wave again. And Nidoking picks up 3 kills, and that's a 4-0 victory for the Sinnoh Starlets, who I think won 3 or 4-0 again last week. So once again, unbeaten team in the league so far, the Sinnoh Starlets. Crucial plays were Arachnid with Sticky Webs put in the work, so Nidoking could sweep late game. Sub-Hyper Voice Mega Gardevoir put in the work, destroying the main plan A of the Sydney Shamans team with the setup boost to his Tapu Lele. Bishop got 2 solid kills with the Z Dark to Oko the not Oko, but brings Jolteon down to its Sash. Gudra Infestive Toxic Stall. I know Sean too well. No, he loves Stall, so very good bring. He probably will bring it again. So if you're watching this, watch out for that. And Nidoking just came in late game with the webs up and just swept his entire team. Now, yeah. So the main plan, as you could tell, was Jolteon would set up Agility, ban pass into Vaporeon, which would see Celebrate, get some double teams up, ban pass out into Tapu Lele, and sweep. But that did not happen because A, Sean's lucky gun and landed his Hyper Voices. Shouldn't have subbed, should have just killed that Mega Gardevoir and then subbed up, because that was his only sound-based move he could have had on his team, which was just went through the sub and did the most. So should have done that. And yeah, besides that, and the Ferrothorn Sash, Mega Iron Barb's revenge kill on the Mega Gardevoir, Sean aced that game, 4-0. So hopefully next week the Sydney Shamans can pick up a W and the Sinnoh Starlets can carry on their win streak and try and become champion of Division Kanto. Next up, game number 7. We are here with the Black City Curums, coached by Zombie, versus the Power Squad, which this week is coached by Checkmate Ben. Now, the Black City Curums are rocking Gliscor, Curum Black, Mega Medicham, Klefki, Tornadus Furion, and Xurkitree. And the Power Squad are rocking Scolipede, Mega Slowbro, Snorlax, Togekiss, Mew, and Umbreon. Now, Power Squad did win last week 2-0, and Black City Curums won 4-0 I think last week. And yeah, this Power Squad are just going pure meme, if I want to say. The likes of, because last week it brought the Z Celebrate Umbreon. That's all you need to know. And the Zombie Captains are very good battler and are now uploading their PIDA videos. So I'll leave a link in the description to his channel so you can watch any of, I'll leave any coach who uploads a PIDA video, PIDA League video, I will leave a comment. I'll leave them in the description down below, because I know for a fact Zombie has uploaded, as recording this, his week 1 game. So I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. Now, yeah, let's begin with this game, shall we? Leads with the Tornadus on the Scolipede. As the Scolipede goes for Protect, the Tornadus goes for Taunt to try and shut down the Scolipede turn 1, because it's probably going to like to be substitute Toxic Spikes. Baton Pass, Speed Boost, Mega Horn. Who knows? But tries to shut it down with the Taunt. As it goes for the Baton Pass, turn 1, straight out into his Togekiss at +1 speed. Jupiter goes for Acrobatics on the Air Slash. Pops the Citrus Berry, so gets the flinch, but it's a Togekiss, so it's going to happen. Out comes the Klefki. Pranks the Thunder Wave to paralyze everything. Klefki lives the Fire Blast, which I was shocked by. As it goes for Spikes, gets the Para. Switch down to the Scolipede again. Gets them second layer of Spikes up, so shuts down the switch initiatives on the team. Gets the Pranks the Thunder Wave. Gets the double Para. Once on the Togekiss, once on the Scolipede. Goes for the Substitute. And the Scolipede is going to try and set up some speed boosts. As the Gliscor goes for Agility, trying to outspeed the Gliscopod, the Scolipede, with its Toxic Spikes speed boost shenanigans. Goes to Protect again. Swords Dance on the Gliscor, so now Gliscor is at +3 speed, +2 attack. As he goes for the Baton Pass himself, out into Kyurem Black. Now, this is a scary, scary sight. +2, +3 speed Kyurem Black. Kyurem Black's attack is already freaking sky high. But the only problem is it gets no physical moves whatsoever. It gets Dragon Claw and Free Shock. That's about it. So, even a +2 Dragon Claw, besides the Togekiss, is doing the finest of damage to this Squire squad. So he Baton Passes out into his Snorlax. As he goes for the Dragon Claw, breaking the sub, obviously. As he goes for Brick Break, which does 42%, so the next one shall kill. As he goes for the Z, Devastating Drake, predicting the Snorlax would live the +2 Dragon Claw. And he switches out into his Togekiss, meaning that the Z move does nothing. So that was a waste of a Z move, and now switches out into his Umbreon. Goes to predict the Fusion Bolt, which doesn't OK this. Goes to Fusion Bolt again, sacks off the Umbreon, and down goes the Kyurem Black due to the Toxic Spikes damage. Out comes the Gliscor again. Here's Mewtwo, even though it's not a Mewtwo, it's a Mew. And to Jupiter, as the Mew goes for Rock Polish, so Power Squad are going to set up a lot this season, a lot. So, just point out there, they're going to set up a lot. So, if you're playing Power Squad, be prepared for setup. Be prepared for setup. So, you go to Rock Polish again. The Tornado goes for Acrobatics, doing 35 to 30%. Psychic does nothing to this Duke Tornado, so it must be a bulky boy. Because Rock Polish again, so it's a +4 speed on this Mew. Max speed on this Mew. Goes for Baton Pass out into his what? Mega Slowbro. So it's a max speed Mega Slowbro. So that could be an issue. He taunts the Mega Slowbro. As he goes for the Zap Cannon. You can tell these guys are doing weird sets because Zap Cannon, when it gets Thunderbolt and Thunder, why don't they go for Zap Cannon? Just because it's Zap Cannon. That's the only reason they did it. The only reason they did it, because Zap Cannon is just Zap Cannon. So, if that was like Thunderbolt, they might have won. If that was Thunderbolt, they might have won the game. If they put Thunderbolt over Zap Cannon, they might have won the game. But they didn't, so who knows? Who knows what's going through their minds? They're a bunch of weirdos. Aqua Tail. So it's mixed. Taunt ended. Okay, that's fine. Out into the Klefki. So he goes for Slack Off. So goes for the Thunder Wave. So this Slowbro has Aqua Tail, Zap Cannon, Slack Off. Is that his moves? That's all this move it's shown so far. It's a weird freaking Mega Slowbro set. But it does kill the Klefki just before the Klefki paralysed it. So the Klefki did put in the final work, paralysing half this team to great succession. So he switches out the Mega Slowbro, predicting the Thunderbolt, because Circuitry can put in the work and probably wouldn't have killed with the Aqua Tail. So out switches out into Scolipede, go to Protect. As the Scolipede goes for Protect, Zombie knew pretty much he was going to go for Protect or Substitute, so he went for the Tail Glow. So now this Xurkitree is at +3. That's a scary sight to say the least. That is an absolutely scary sight to say the least. Goes for the Thunderbolt. Kills the Scolipede. Just toxic damage is stacking up. Out comes the Snorlax. Goes for the Thunderbolt. Kills the Snorlax. Gets a +4. No, that's +5. +5. Goes to +6. Gets 3 kills. Out comes the Mew. Out comes the Slowbro. Goes with the Thunderbolt. Kills that. 4-0. And Mew comes out, dies to Spikes. And that is GG. Xurkitree late game sweep. So yeah. Medicham did not even touch the field. So yeah, that's a clean 4-0 victory for the Black Sea Curums. Sets to point out where the Glow Score, Agility, Bat and Pass, Swords Dance set into Q and Black. Good play. Good setup options there, because he could have easily went into the likes of his Gliscor or his Medicham with that set, and was scary. If it wasn't poisoned, that would have been scary. Would have been. So that's always a good plan for the future if you want to play the zombies. Be prepared for that. Obviously, the Z Dragon on Q and Black was very unfortunate as he switched out into his Togekiss, but I don't know what moves it can get to touch, but apart from Fusion Bolt. It should have been Z Electric to deal with the Mega Slowbro and the Togekiss, but you never know. Medicham didn't touch the field, so we can't comment on that. Klefki did put in the finest of work. It paralysed half his team, got them spikes up, got a kill because of the spikes, and got some paralysis on the way, which is very crucial. Tornadus was taunt set to try and shut down the Scolipede, which is a very good bring. Citrus Acrobatics to put in the work against the Scolipede, obviously, probably the main reason for it. And then Xurkitree late game Tail Glow Sweep. Picks up 4 kills, even though the Mew died to Spikes. That goes to Klefki, but Xurkitree picks up 4 kills this week, and is probably one of the most MVPs. Probably the MVP so far we've looked at, I want to say. It's joint right now with the Mega Charizard Y from the Victoria Victinis, but we still have one more game to go. And we have not even talked about the Power Squad teams yet. So Scolipede would obviously sub Toxic Spikes, Bat and Pass substitute. So that was purely set up Scolipede. So if we're down to Scolipede versus whatever, it would have lost because it doesn't have any attacking moves. Zap Cannon Slowbro is still blowing my mind, because if that was like a move that would actually hit, like Thunderbolt or whatever, could have been a different game. Could have honestly been a different game. And obviously the Mew was Rock Polish, Bat and Pass as well, so there had 2 options for setup speed and Bat and Pass into something. So yeah, Power Squad are just here to mess around. That's what they're here for. And Zombies currently, as of right now, I do believe first in PIDA Kanto. So he's on potentially going to win it. And the last game we have for you is the Boston Cyndaquils, coached by Dylan, versus the Ottawa Garchomps, coached by Pesky Skitty. Now, the Boston Cyndaquils are rocking Landorus Furion, Dragalge, Mega Gallade, Kartana, Reuniclus, and Tapu Fini. And the Ottawa Garchomps are rocking Megalopony, Azelf, Arcanine, Tapu Bulu, Skarmory, and Heliolisk. Now, looking at the teams, we've got Tapu v Tapu, we have Mega v Mega, we have Skarmory is going to be main rocker, obviously. Azelf can be a rocker as well. Arcanine can be bulky or physical threat. Arcanine will put in the work against that Kartana. Heliolisk is an interesting bring. It's probably there mainly for the Tapu Fini, but Tapu Bulu's right there, and Dragalge is there and can put in the actual finds of work against Tapu Bulu. So yeah, let's jump into this last game and see how this last game pays out. So leads with the Azelf versus the Landorus Furion. Rocks are going to come from the Landorus most probably, or not. Goes for the U-turn on the Skarmory. Goes out into Dragalge. Skarmory switches out into Heliolisk as it goes for the Thunderbolt. Resists that. Volt switches out into his Skarmory. as he predicts Dragonfold. That Dragonfold did a lot of damage because Dragalge obviously has adaptability and puts in the work with stab moves, so that's always crucial. Skarmory goes for Roost as it goes for the Thunderbolt. That still does a lot of damage. So he switches out into his heal list, predicting another Thunderbolt. 14%. Hyper Voice does 33% to Dragalge. So he goes for the Sludge Wave. Does clean 50%. Out comes the Kartana. That has to be HP Psychic? Or Ground? Or Ice? I don't know what hit power that is, actually. It's probably Ice, predicting the Landorus to switch in. It must have been HP Ice to pick the Landorus. Must have been. Absolutely must have been. Out comes that Arcanine as the Kartana goes for Brick Breaker -1. Does absolutely 0 to his Arcanine. Out comes Tapu Fini. Out comes Tapu Bulu. Instant terrain change. Instant changes. Predicting the Leech Seed goes out into Kartana. Probably wasn't predicting the Leech Seed, probably predicting a Grass type move, physical wise, because Kartana is a bulky boy defensive wise. So probably would have lived the Woodhammer incoming. Out comes the Arcanine as it goes for Smart Strike, which does nothing because it's intimidated and resisted. Out comes the Tapu Fini. Now this time he knows he's going to go into Tapu Fini, so Arcanine goes for the Wild Charge, doing a solid 37% to Tapu Fini. Now Tapu Fini's a bulky boy, bulky gal, so yeah, Wild Charge is probably not going to do a lot to this thing. So good play, but Tapu Fini's too bulky to be in a Wild Charge for days. Tapu Fini goes for the Scald on the Tapu Bulu. Now I'm interested because Scald obviously it gets Surf, which is higher base power, and with Misty Terrain, Scald is pretty much useless because you can't burn. So unless he only brought it to knowing he'd Grassy Terrain up, I don't know. But Tapu Fini usually most of the time runs Surf over Scald because Misty Terrain can't make you burn things. So that's just what I would do. But that's just me. Landorus is here. He goes for the Horn Leech. Still does a decent amount of damage, even with at -1. I'll say a decent amount, 30%. Landorus goes for Swords Dance, which could be quite scary. Knocks off the Skarmory. Puts those rocks up. Goes for Knock Off again. Down goes the Skarmory to the Landorus. Out comes the Heliolisk. Knowing he has HP Ice, and will probably outspeed it, switches out into his Unicolus as he goes with Hidden Power. Yep, HP Ice confirmed. Unicolus eats up them hits for days as he Volt switches out into his Azelf Tapu Bulu again. As Unicolus goes for Trick Room. Now, Trick Room is very, very interesting because obviously Dragalge is slow, Tapu Fini is slow, Unicolus is slow. Landorus, I think, is a bulky set, so that could be possibly slow as well. Set against this team with Megalopony and Heliolisk, Trick Room can put in the actual work. So, yeah, that's a good play by the Boston Syndicals right there. As he switches out into Dragalge under Trick Room, as Tapu Bulu goes for Taunt, predicting the Unicorns probably either Calm Mind, most probably, or Recover. It won't have recovered because it was at full health, but out comes the Arcanine as the Dragalge goes for Sludge Wave, doing the most. Out comes the Lopunny, which he pretty much sacks off to the Dragalge because Arcanine is more of a useful mon on this team besides the Mega Lopunny, because obviously he has Kartana, which it pretty much just has. Mega Lopunny doesn't really have a great matchup, if I'm being totally honest. But Taunt ends as the Boston Syndicals switch out into their Tarkana, putting the Fake Out, which this will resist, and it probably would have killed the Dragalge. So good play by the Boston Syndicals there. Poison damage racks up. Trick Room ends just as he switches down to Kartana. Out comes the Arcanine, who Smart Strikes the Arcanine. Does nothing again because it's resisted -1. Out comes Tapu Fini. Wild Charge. Morning Sun. Heals up that damage on the Arcanine. So it's a bulky Arcanine, so that's why Wild Charge didn't do a lot. Sacks off this Megalopony as it goes for the Defog. And here comes the Heliolisk as he goes back out into his Landorus. HP Ice. goes for the Thunderbolt this time. So, good play. As he switches out, goes into HPIs. So, Boston Syndicals are playing mind games right now with this Healisk. Switching out into moves that are immune, do no damage, blah, 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 blah. So that's always crucial for the Boston Syndicals. Out comes Unicus, who goes for the Volt Switch out. He's probably into his Tapu Bulu. Then he goes for the Trick Room. Trick Room again. So this Trick Room's up for a second time now, as he gets the double recovery from Grassy Terrain. Out comes Dragouge. There's the Leech Seed. And I do believe this is where Dragouge sweeps, I do believe. If I remember correctly, Dragouge sweeps from this range because it kills the Arcanine under Trick Room. Gets some Grassy Terrain damage off. Kills the Azelf. Goodbye Azelf. That's 3 kills for Dragouge now. Out comes Healisk. Hyper Voice. Doesn't kill it. Sludge Wave. 4 kills for the Dragouge now. Out comes Tapu Bulu. Mega Horn misses. And Sludge Wave. It was Kabaya Berry. Did not make a difference because it's a stab adaptability Sludge Wave from a Dragouge. Why would you be Poison Berry? Don't know. Do not know. But that's our first 6-0, I do believe, of PIDA, which is absolutely amazing. Dragouge put in the most finds to work with the help of Unicus, put out that Trick Room for it. So, yeah, that was pretty much MVP this week was Dragouge, assisted by Unicus, because if Trick Room and Unicus wasn't there, Dragouge would not have put in this much work. So that's a solid win for the Boston Syndicals, who I think are also unbeaten. I think they're not unbeaten, but that is just amazing, absolutely amazing. So now we can look at the table, which is, as you can see, is different colours now because we've changed some of the rules, because originally it was just first one, bottom 2 got relegated. Now, we had a discussion in the Discord, and they were saying, why is there no playoffs? Why are there no playoffs? And I thought, do you guys really want playoffs? They said yes, because we already had playoffs for Division Johto with promotion. So we thought, hey, why not? Top 4 get into playoffs to win the league. Bottom just automatically gets relegated, and then 15th, 14th, 13th, and 12th go into reverse playoffs. So, for example, right now, Victoria Victinis will play the Calgary V-Creates, and the Power Squad will play the Green and Guzzlords, and the 2 losers will move into the final, the loser final, and the loser of that will get relegated. So, yeah, reverse final. So, if you win your loser semi-final, you're safe. If you lose that, and you lose the final game, you get relegated with the bottom of the pack. So this is the table, is what it's looking at right now. So we have 3 coaches unbeaten so far, which are the Black Sea Curums, the Sinnoh Starlets, and the Puro Pidgeots. Black Sea Curums are on +9 differential, Sinnoh Starlets on +8, and the Puro Pidgeots on +6. And we have Scurfnape and the Sugar Puff City Swellixers rocking up that 4th place spot with differential of 2 with +3, who did lose this week 3-0. So yeah, has the chance, and this league is very, very close, because as well as the Sugar Puff City Sweets, we have the Boston Syndicals, New England Blizzard, Hungry Big Boys, Wenton Harrow, Sydney Shamans, Dallas Cavaliers, New Haven Nut, Victoria Victinis, and the Power Squad, all on 3 kills with 4 differential between them. So everything could change next week. Anything could change next week. So stay tuned for that, because this league's going to be very, very close. I can call it now. This league's going to be very close. So, and then obviously we've got the Green and Guzzlords, Calgary V-Creates, and Johto Garchomps, who are yet to win a game, but there's still 13 weeks left, so they still have a chance to get out of them relegation zone / playoffs, get up into the safe yellow zone, and stay around for season number 2 in Kanto. So that is going to be a wrap for this weekly show. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button down below. Stay subscribed if you're not already. Leave a comment if you want me to change this video in any slide. Like, I don't know. If you want to see something I haven't talked about, or want a change of something, let me know down in the comment section down below, and I'll get that sorted for week number 3. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!